Hello, everyone. My name is John D. Bartola,
Joe Taranto.
and we are here for another weekly podcast episode. Are we calling this?
Is it weekly?
We do well every other week.
Okay.
Are we calling this Crime and Punishment?
Oh, is that we got a new name?
Well, folks, before I came here, I left the Johnstown Farmers Market. What do you think of the market, Joey?
I didn't watch the video. I don't know.
Folks, I promote it every week. Please support positive events.
Was anybody there?
Every week there's less vendors, and it seems like less people, and they're putting a good show for it.
Mm-hmm.
When it was at Central Park, it was bustling. I think it's location, and I think we're talking about the crime, folks. I think the crime is hampering what's going on in the community.
Well, of course it is.
For those of you who read your Daily Pravda, I had an editorial in the paper today.
You did. I didn't.
Joe, I was shocked. You could read it.
Oh, okay.
If it ever
I'll read it.
There you go. There you go.
I'm not going to read it on camera.
On camera.
No. I've already read it. Are you going to read it out loud?
Should I read it out loud?
No.
Folks, what we're calling for at this point
I'll post it up here in the middle. People can read it.
Good job. What we're looking for, folks, is definitive action. For the last 3 months, the city's been under siege. Is that the word to use?
You could use that, I guess.
I mean, I was, unfortunately, I had the distinction of being at 2 of the shootings. I mean, talking about dumb luck. Last Friday, I was at home when I heard the shootings outside my house on Bedford Street. The Friday before that, Joe and I were supposed to do a podcast with the basketball league guy.
Yeah.
And
I
went to Sheets to get gas to come over here at 1 o'clock, and here we are with a 2-hour shooting. And I've lost track of how many shootings there are.
Well, the crime is down according to
the crime's down according to our councilman. So, folks, we put enough pressure on them. Sylvia finally did a 180. She called for a public workshop. For first, it was supposed to be a... Go ahead.
I think they're going to have a pep rally, and I think this is just something so they can say they did something. And I think it's very empty, and they're not really going to do anything. And they're hoping it just to blow over and for it to naturally die out, and there would be a lull in the violence, or at least get a handle on people noticing and reporting it. And then, but they're not going to change any policies. They're not going to fix any of the economic factors of our city. They're not going to do anything. And they're going to do surface level emotional PR nonsense.
Well, folks, if you watched the news this week, the police chief and the DA went on TV. The DA finally announced she was going to no more plea deals. Folks,
that's the fact. Her saying that is good because people get off for doing things too lightly.
Mm-hmm.
So now what will happen is I'll get a speeding ticket and
you'll go to jail. You'll go to jail.
20 years in jail.
The other issue was the police chief went after social media pages like 814 Dispatch, which, do we even know who runs that?
No.
It's not, folks, it's not us. We run Revitalize Johnstown.
According to them, they think we run.
They think it's all of us. Like, folks, we see your posts. I wish I had the time to run 5 or 6 pages anonymous. No, folks, we don't do that. If we have something to say to you, I take credit for it. It's on my page. I share it. We put up the posters, the videos.
But they don't want you to, they think that by people putting those things out, it's hurting or making it, it's notifying people, and maybe it's alarming people. But I would rather someone let me know there's a shooting going on in a street and it just be fireworks than not know and drive down it or walk down, or, at least if my kids are going out, I say, hey, avoid that street because apparently they're shooting at somebody. And if it just happens to be fireworks, well then, no big deal. But I would rather err on the side of caution.
Another thing that happened this week, folks, is the Johnstown City Council had a special meeting Wednesday. Joe, 4 minutes and 9 seconds according to their own clock on Facebook.
Well, if you're not going to do anything, you might as well just do it quickly.
Do it quickly. 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Dustin Green, owner of Aces, went to the meeting. He spoke. He called them out. He literally said the 4 engineers were there. They never explained the scope of the plan, the price of the plan, any details. Last month, they were debating spending $1 million on 4 bathrooms, $1 million, give or
the
take,
public
on the
safety
glass
building
elevator.
Still.
Yeah. So instead of telling people what they voted on, they did a 4-minute meeting, and we have no idea.
Yeah.
No, folks, no idea. And then when we say these things, oh, you're a racist because you're going against Sylvia.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter if they say anything. They're going to do whatever they have planned. They don't really want input, and if they feel resistance, they'll create input, and they'll have their people go and cheer them on. So
one of the other stories that I shared as I'm looking at my phone, Realtor.com listed Johnstown, PA as the most affordable housing market in the country.
yeah, because everybody's selling their house.
Nobody wants to live here. Folks,
Yeah.
why do you think that is?
No jobs, poor school district,
Depreciation, property
crime,
values.
and violence.
And folks, as we always tell you, you voted for this. In one of the rare TV Tom Facebook explosions, Tom was outside the Glasser building, and he got a viral. Folks, I never shared Tom's page. The bees were amazing to watch.
Yeah, it was bad for the person whose car they decided to create a nest on, but they got him off the car, from what I understand.
The Johnstown police shared a video asking for the public's help. Someone robbed Joanna Day.
Do they actually sell weed in that place? What are they selling there?
No.
Is it like is it a medical weed store?
I think they sell marijuana products, or
is it just like one of the smoke and skill kind of shop?
No, I think they actually, folks, if you know, comment.
I don't really know.
I've never been in there. I know that the owner, who has me blocked, Keystone Kev, doesn't like us.
Yeah, he's not a real big fan. He's kind of nasty with us.
And
that's
he posted,
okay. We'll
he
still
gave
be nice to him.
free hot dogs and hamburgers to the kids a couple days earlier for the end of the school year. Congratulations to all of our graduates at Johnstown, by the way. And then a few days later, they have a picture of a kid, you know. The other big story this week that is sending ripples, a 15-year-old was arrested for the murder of that 38-year-old guy. 15, folks.
They're going to try him as an adult.
And they should.
I agree.
15 years old. What is going on in our community that this is the response we have?
We have a lot of people with a very ghetto mentality, where they are part of this crime and violence. That is just what they do. That's part of their life, and they don't have any problem stealing, hurting people. They're not very civilized, and I don't think it's a issue of race or where you're from, because there's people in Philly that are good and bad, but unfortunately we're getting a lot of bad. There's people who've been transplanted here a generation ago that brought in bad, I don't know what we would say.
Element?
Well, they're a bad, their culture. They brought in a bad culture, and now their offspring are Johnstown natives, and now they are bringing about that same culture. And the culture is not, like I said, it's a culture. You choose to be a violent criminal, and that's the people they are bringing here. Unfortunately, our past DAs and whatnot have been very lenient on the crime, and people would get in trouble. I remember one guy shot somebody before, and then a couple
2 years later, he's out. He shoots somebody again.
Did it again, and I just so we're a very easy target for people who want to commit crimes and violence, because they're not as maybe we're we still think we're a small town, and they try and treat it like a small town, but we have big city problems. And people, well, yeah, there's good people in big cities, but we're talking about what you think of when you think of a big city, whether it's Philly or somewhere in New Jersey or whatever, is that crime element that infests large cities, and we are becoming that. So,
well, to combat that, most of our lawmakers, folks, are so scared of their shadows they won't comment. That's not the case with Representative Burns. No. Burns put out a press release calling on the city council and the mayor to demand the resignations of the entire Johnstown Housing Authority board this week.
And I think at least he is doing something, and the people that are on there, they're supporting. They have not changed any of the plans or any of what's going on at the Housing Authority.
Well, let's be honest, folks. I'm the only person who could say I go to these meetings. I'm the only one. No one else goes, not even the media. So look at our 5 board members. Angela Reed's been on for 20 years. Darset Hasselridge, 15 years. Chuck Arnone and John Slezak going on 10 years. Only Bill McKinney was just appointed in January, and
I
that's
know it's
because
because
he
he
backed
backed people that got
Taylor
on
and
council.
Nick and Mike's and did mailers. He basically bought a position. So we have these people who are, I call them political dinosaurs. They're not right-sizing the housing authority. They claim they have no power to contact HUD. Folks, let us remind you.
They had a council meeting where Sam Barber asked Chuck Arnone if the city council has anything to do with housing, and they said no.
And folks, that's a lie.
That's a lie.
They passed the 5-year plan, which HUD's basis to create more public housing, and they appoint the board.
The issue when people say, well, we got new faces on council, yes, but they are of the same pool of people. They're of the people who want to continue on with the way things were. There was no, they never said, we're going to change this, we're going to do something different, we need to change a new direction. They were all like, we like what the council's been doing, and we're seeing a lot of progress, and we want to continue with that progress. And when you do that, you're going to get the same. You could completely overhaul the housing authority while still taking care of all the people that are involved in the housing authority, but yet giving them and the residents of our city a better outcome.
Well, that was Marie Mock put a comment on Representative Burns' Facebook, attacking Frank for helping us save the Prospect residents. I saw it. Well, that was a chance to get rid of housing, Marie commented. The reality is we don't want our own residents to be homeless. We just don't want out-of-area Philly people coming in, using us for a voucher, and then leaving, bringing in crime and a transient population.
She's using that, but they were throwing people out, and the way they were doing it was questionable.
$100 eviction, no notice, get out.
Another thing they were doing is they were trying to then say that Prospect housing was bad, and then from what I've gathered, maybe sell it off to one of their nonprofits.
Oh yeah, the $50 million Choice Neighborhood Housing Program,
to then generate profit to one of their nonprofits by selling the Prospect area to them dirt cheap, saying, oh, so the housing authority would say, we had to get everybody had to get out because it's structurally not sound, and we had to sell it off because there was all these problems, so we're selling it off for $1, and then one of their nonprofits pick it up for $1 or whatever, something completely cheap, putting a couple bucks into it, maybe getting grants to do it, and then turning around, and all those people who were then removed from it now have vouchers that they can, through the government, that would rent that property back, but then instead of the money, instead of it being public housing, it would be like a private Section 8 voucher system
through a nonprofit,
and all the funding from the government would then go to that nonprofit, therefore generating a profit stream for the people that they're connected with. So, really, Marie, that was our opportunity. You were going to tear them down? No, you weren't. Your people were going to find a way to screw people and make a profit for yourselves. That's what you guys do. That's what you've done for the 20 years that you've been involved in the city government. Go plant your flowers and tell everybody how great you are, but you destroyed the city.
Another topic that was on Facebook was Berkeley Hills Golf Course posted about answering the rumors about facilities not working and the customers being asked not to use the bathrooms. And folks, my comment on the golf course is this: they don't have an active contract. The rumors that I'm hearing is that come September 30th, the city's going to be revoking the Hayes family who have the current contract and taking it back over.
Oh, I have no idea.
We've seen the city getting into the tow business. They've removed Brat Towing. They're taking away the fact that they're trying to make money off of everything. The city shouldn't be involved.
Oh yeah, they're going to get a tow truck or something.
They passed it. They're going to. They're now getting involved in the golf course, and these are questions that we just don't have answers to.
So the city is going to spend. I mean, a tow truck. How much does a towing truck cost?
I couldn't tell you. 100,000, 90,000.
I mean, a regular pickup truck, a new one costs $100,000. Yeah. I would imagine one that equipped would be $200,000.
Now the point is,
how much is it going to cost to hire someone to run that? The private sector has tons of people who have tow businesses where they could get where the city could contract with them, and the city could take a couple percent.
And still make money.
It would generate nothing but profit with no risk and no overhead and no legacy costs for the city. because the private
Mhm.
sector has plenty of people with tow trucks.
And the city doesn't have a salvage license to sell the vehicles once they put them at the lot.
But what the private sector can't offer is an animal control officer.
No, $4,000 a month to neuter 26 cats.
So they're going to
started.
spend money for a pickup truck, not a pickup truck, but a towing vehicle, which is.
And they want two eventually. They said they
So
take over
towing vehicles, operators for those vehicles, which are salaried city employees with pensions and benefits, when the private sector offers that service, they're gonna finance that and we're tax it. But animal control officer, where the private sector cannot, just like the private sector can't offer a police force, they're not going to offer that. It's not because they don't have the money. It's because this is what they're choosing to do.
That's the towing issue. And folks, we had a very bizarre story on the news. The stabbing that never happened at the Smoke and Skills.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
So
it might have been a fight and got confused. Who knows?
Initially, Channel 10 reported a stabbing at the Smoke and Skills. It was shared on the WTAJ News. And then about 6 hours later, they said it was just a fight at the Smoke and Skills.
I mean, it could have gotten confused.
And it could have happened, but then they're blaming social media when it was reported on the Channel 10 News.
Well, they're trying to discredit because they don't want people to get the word out. So they're going to try and discredit people, because I also understand, or I also heard, that they're trying to tamp down any knowledge of issues happening.
I've heard that too.
So if
it doesn't get reported, it didn't happen.
Yeah. So if you go after people for reporting things and there's a mistake, like if it was a fight and someone thought it was someone got stabbed, but it was just a fight, maybe someone was cut, but just from being in a fight, they go, "Oh, look, see, misinformation." Well, I mean,
misinformation, folks. That's my next topic. On Monday, Joe, I went to the Cambria County Election Board.
Okay.
They originally had a meeting on May 15th, and they adjourned for 2 weeks. They had to do whatever it was.
Yeah.
So Representative Burns, again, we mentioned Frank, he had a right-to-know request that found emails showing that there were ballots from the 2024 election they never counted.
I'm not surprised.
They originally denied it when I asked them. I have it on video. Then when I presented them with the actual emails, the only response I got was anger that I posted the emails from a right-to-know request on Facebook. No comment. They're not saying they're investigating it.
In the emails, it confirmed there was ballots in a box.
Oh, yeah. So in the back that weren't counted.
But and it's not like you just found these emails. They were actually given. They were given through a properly request.
Yeah. And the folks, the comment I had from the board was, when Scott became commissioner, he won by 3 votes, or else he wouldn't be in power for the past 8 years. So every single vote counts, except in Cambria County. They won't even acknowledge it. They won't investigate it. They shut it up.
I think it's more of the governmental dysfunction that we experience. I think there is foul play in this area, but I think on a higher level, I think it's just incompetence. And I don't know, the people we have running things are.
Speaking of incompetence, folks, and you probably all forgot about this, next week is the amended complaint lawsuit for the Republican committee with the woman they put her records online, where we have Subich and Ron Robertson and Ed Cernick all being listed in a complaint.
I'm not really following it, yeah.
Basically what happened was, 3 years ago in the election, for whatever reason, Subich is accused, allegedly, of using a fake profile named Eric Feathers to leak someone's personal information.
I'm not going to comment on this because I have to go to the magistrate. So
it's almost comical, and they're accusing Ron Robertson, who is the county economic director, who's never done an economic report in 10 years, of getting the information from Ed Cernick. And they're asking a judge from Adams County near Gettysburg to approve the amended complaint, because they just found out, because they got the records in discovery. And there's text messages from Mark and Bill and all these people allegedly colluding. And folks, this lawsuit is probably one of the biggest jokes, because it's alleged. No media coverage. No one's talking about it but us.
I haven't been following it.
It's almost funny. The other thing our media is not talking about, Joe, do you remember about a month ago when Sylvia went on the news and announced the creation of the Johnstown Task Force?
I do. And it's still.
We haven't had a meeting. We haven't had a discussion. There's been no press releases. I'm sure they're going to say they're meeting in executive session, but folks, you're not allowed to set policy in executive sessions if that's what
No,
they're
there's
doing.
rules for well, but why did she say that? To shut people up. And the same reason why they're trying to have a meeting now is they're going to try and put on a show like they are doing something, when in reality just not.
No, and the thing is, you make these statements, you never follow up or talk about it again. Folks, if we had a functional media, and I want to give WJC some credit, they have done phenomenal coverage. They really have of the crime. They really have. I've been watching. I've shared it. Our Tribune should be doing an editorial saying it's been 3 months. You know, you promised 6 weeks ago to have a task force.
No too little, too late.
Yeah, that's what you got.
Article.
Where's the commentary? As I told you all earlier in this video, last Friday, Joe and I didn't do a video because there was a shooting outside my house. I was too busy taping that. Folks,
the Friday before, there's a shooting outside my house.
Because I was on my way to do this podcast, and I was getting gas and sheets and getting a sandwich, and boom, 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 and Joe and I are over on Cypress Ave.
Yeah.
And by the way, folks, a lot of you criticized me for going live. Here's why I did it. Do you understand that until we document what is really going on in our community, people like you out there who accuse us of racism or lying aren't going to believe it until you physically see it?
Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with going live on things.
I mean, ridiculous.
They really think that there's someone inside the building watching their phone to get the locations of people.
It's ridiculous.
with a lag, and it's just kind of stupid.
It's really ridiculous.
This isn't like a movie show where they have like a bank heist and there's like professionals doing crimes.
Well, look at the history of our town, folks. I put up a post that I shared from 3 years ago. The Great Johnstown Flood anniversary was this week, May 31st. 137 years, give or take. And I compared the town, the post is on my page, how we had Carnegie and Frick back 137 years ago controlling the town. 2 men on either hill. Now we have Polachek and Pascarella, 2 men on either hill. We have vision. We have this, I
don't know how much long Marky Mark's going to be in charge of anything if he
lost
everything.
There's no money.
Apparently the Crown Building's a bank now.
Well, have you heard what's happening? Oh, it's not a bank.
What is it?
The Crown Building, I just got word today. Folks, allegedly, I'm doing my Dr. Evil alleged. Because of work that has to be done because they didn't do the construction properly, they have to do repairs. First Summit Bank is renting a space up in Richland. They can't move the bank into the Crown American until they do heavy repairs. I just got word about that this week.
Oh, because it's in disrepair.
It needs repairs. So before they can move the bank and they have to rent another location. Allegedly. Maybe that's not true. What do I know? But the point of the story is, folks, we have power brokers who control our town, who are not elected, who everyone gives all this power to, and nothing is changing. Case in point, Central Park. Folks, I did a video of Central Park this week. I was shocked at I don't even know how many views it's had. They're claiming the park is opening on June 30th. It is now June 6th. Folks,
good luck.
It's a disaster. It's ugly. It's a concrete jungle. And for those of you criticizing me, yes, I'm looking for a location for Pride. I just went to City Hall again today, Joe. Do you know I can't get a response? I've gone in maybe 10 times. I've emailed. I've called. They claim they can get you a company with cheap insurance because you have to have a $2 million insurance rider now to use the $8 million park.
Okay.
I can't get the access to it. I can't get anyone to return my call. People have been asking me if the city is deliberately discriminating against us because we're a gay group. Folks, I don't know what's going on. What I can tell you is if there is this much I want to call it red tape, democratic red tape to use bureaucracy.
Yeah.
No one's going to want to do anything in the city because if you make us go through this many hoops to do something for free, like we're looking at the conference center to have our event because I don't want to deal with the city in the park. And I like the park as a location, even though it's a disaster.
Even if it was completely finished today, there's no coverage for shade.
There's no shade. But my bigger complaint is they're not returning phone calls. I can't get information. And I know you all don't like me.
I'm not surprised, and I don't honestly. I used to think that, but I just think that's the way it is. I think it's a just incompetence kind of thing. They're just running around. That's why they're having that meeting. They wanted to have the meeting at the church, and then the church said we can't have it at the church, and now they're having it at the War Memorial. And then there's people that don't know, and it's a big mess. And why? I just think it's because of just they're not very well organized.
Now, for those of you who are watching social media like we are, there was a local resident who did what I did, who saw a police arrest at Solomon, did a video, no media coverage, no explanation. You just see 10 cop cars arresting someone in handcuffs. Did something happen? And is it going to be up to the citizens of the city to do that, to have to document everything because our police and our media are covering things up? I don't have an answer.
Keep the numbers down.
I don't have an answer.
I don't know.
And that, believe it or not, is our week.
Oh, that's good.
That's our week. So our big question is the city safe? Do you feel safe?
Statistically, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's much higher than the national average.
And I've called for a protest, folks, peaceful protest, Wednesday, June 10th, Johnstown City Council. I invited our DA. She emailed me she'd be there.
Yeah.
Folks, I know many of you
Well, there
are
was
tired.
some incident down at Sheets the other night when I went out. What night was that?
I forget, but I know it was a couple nights ago.
And just walking, friendly, safe, clean. I just walking from my house down the Sheets, and the amount of garbage that was all over Ohio Street. I took pictures of it, just covered in garbage. When people just throw their garbage out on the street, you know you're not in a good neighborhood, because good neighborhoods that are safe are not. People don't just throw their garbage everywhere.
So, folks, we're asking you to come. I don't think Joe's going to come to the protest.
Oh, no,
I don't think Joe cares.
Care. No.
I still care.
Not that I don't care. I just know that it's not going to do anything.
But, folks, I'm going to be there. I rearranged my schedule. I'm asking the people who care who are left, that segment that maybe want to see things change, to pack the room. And if you don't pack it, we've tried. We've tried. I know a lot of you have given up. I'm calling on the council to pass an emergency declaration, to bring in emergency services, the National Guard, governor help, whatever it takes to serve the outstanding warrants and to send a clear message. We are not going to accept any more criminals or crime in the area.
Good luck.
It's a simple message. Do something.
I don't think they're going to do anything.
I don't either, but I'm still going to ask for it.
I just, like you said, I don't think it's worth the time to do, because I don't think these people are going to do anything. I don't think they're going to do anything.
Well,
and my advice to people, if you have the means, get out.
And folks, we're seeing more and more people saying they're selling their homes, or they're abandoning their homes. We already have a dwindling population.
Well, you said as that thing, we have the best real estate market because people are leaving.
They don't want to be here.
That's why our pricing is so low.
Now, when you say that out loud, folks, the locals who are in power here will scream at you saying, you're the reason why they don't want to be here. You're too negative. Folks, I was at 2 shootings in the past 2 weeks. I'm not the one initiating these. Joe's not initiating all the garbage. This is the community they brought here with their policies.
Yeah, we're known for this.
Yeah,
being a crime-ridden Rust Belt with a lot of blight. Talk to people from out of the area. We're known for a flood, and now we're known for being a Rust Belt city that's crime-ridden and dirty, with blight everywhere,
with lack of jobs, lack of opportunities.
Yeah, that
an aging population.
And that's not because they saw Joe and John on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what they got from the statistics and the things going on here. That's it.
So, folks, this was like a hodgepodge of conversation. It's been 2 weeks. What do you think? Are you coming to the meeting next Wednesday? How would you saw? I always see what's your solution? Folks, we've been telling you for years what the solutions are. I want to hear from you. I want you to leave your comments. I don't even care if you trash us.
If they would have implemented plans and things that I wanted to do 15 years ago,
10 years ago,
that our area would have been better off.
But they didn't want to.
They wanted to keep going the same way.
Poverty makes money.
And today you bring up the same suggestions, and they still don't want to do them. So sometimes the solutions aren't things that will fix things quickly. They're things that take time, and those are the good solutions that would change the area, and they don't want to do them. They're just not going to. So,
and people are just leaving. They're not fighting anymore.
Take a look around. The proof is what we have.
So we want to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in. Signing off, I'm John D. Bartola.
And Joe Taranto.
Look for us next week. Thank you, folks.